So you're trying to scale your training at your organization. You're trying to get your employees to engage in your training, to use that expensive learning management system that you purchased, to use the content that you created, but they're just not doing it. Today, we're going to talk about how internal training should be created in order to continuously engage your employees. This is the eLearning Simplified YouTube channel. I'm Jonny Havey, one of the co-founders of eLearning Partners. And this channel is really built to simplify e-learning. E-learning can be really looked at as an extremely complicated industry, but it's not. And that's what this YouTube channel exists for. We really go through and we break it down. There's really three pillars to e-learning. Number one, remarkable content. Number two, learner-centric technology. And number three, distribution. We talk about this a ton on this channel. And our goal is to help you continuously create and launch successful e-learning programs, online courses, and virtual trainings. Stay to the end of this video and we have a free giveaway just for you to help you guarantee the success of your e-learning program. So let's jump in. Internal training for your employees or contractors, internal teams, etc. And just teams. It's really this simple. You need remarkable content that is based on your learners' needs. Not based on what you think they need, based on what they need. Number two, learner-centric technology. If you are in the boat of already having a learning management system and your learners aren't using it, this does not necessarily mean that you need to jump ship. Doesn't mean that at all. If you don't have a learning management system, great. Don't go down that path yet. Let's get some other things in order first. But if you have one, fine, we'll make it work. It's not about the technology, it's about having learner-centric technology. You can make almost any technology work for your learners, you just have to put a little more work into it. And then the third pillar is successful distribution. This is the most important pillar. This is what we're going to talk about the most today. But they all work together because without one and two, so without remarkable content and without technology, you can't distribute an e-learning program. You can distribute training without content and technology, but you can't distribute an e-learning program. So let's dive into it. You want to create internal training for your employees that is continuously engaging. Well, the interesting part about this is really the only one of these pillars that you need to focus on to start is distribution, pillar number three. And this is because your learners are going to, first of all, tell you what they need, and they are going to be most skeptical about changing how they perform their job on a daily basis. So if they have never used an e-learning program before, and if you have never had an e-learning program before, you have to literally change how they find answers to questions from going to a supervisor or going to YouTube, great place to find answers, going to Google, to going to your e-learning program. So that's really the first thing, is there's a behavioral shift. behavioral shift or cultural shift. So yet again, yes, you need technology. Yes, you need remarkable content. But you could spend tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars on this and never get this. Continuously engaging and continuous engagement from your employees. So that's why specifically with internal e-learning programs, you want to focus on distribution first. This does apply to external if you're selling a course directly to your customers as well, but that's in another video. You can check that on our YouTube channel as well. So yeah, number one, behavioral shift, cultural shift. You need to train your employees to go to your e-learning program. And distribution, some people look at, well, we're not selling an e-learning program, so it has to be easier to get our employees to do it. It should be easier. Distributing the course, the program should be simple. We'll just build it and they will come. Great movie, Field of Dreams. That's not how it works here though. You don't build it and they will come. It just doesn't work that way. You have to create a behavioral shift or a cultural shift to get your employees, your contractors, and your teams to use your e-learning program. Because really what you're doing is the biggest difference between internal and external distribution. So when you're internally distributing your course to your employees, is your employees have to buy into your program every time. They can't just buy into it once, right? When you're creating an external e-learning program and you're selling a program to a consumer, you really only need to convince that consumer one time to buy it. They just have to make the purchase decision once. And then, yeah, if you want them to buy more stuff from you and you want them to find value out of your course, then yeah, you need them to log in and continuously engage with your program, but you really only need them to say yes once. With your employees and internal trainings, they have to continuously say yes. So that's why this is a behavioral and cultural shift. But you are selling to your employees every time you want them to engage in your program. Say yes continuously. So this is really what you're doing. So continuous engagement means that your employees are saying, yes, the e-learning program is where I go to fulfill my training needs. It's not as simple as, hey, everyone, in an email, we have this new program, here's your login credentials, good luck. That's not how it works. You have to really think through how you're going to create this behavioral shift and this cultural shift at your organization and get them to say yes continuously. So why do you start with successful distribution? Well, because you don't need to build out a multi-million-dollar, multi-$100,000, tens and tens of thousands of dollars of e-learning content on e-learning technology to get your employees to continuously engage. You really just need to solve one problem and get your employees to go to your e-learning program for one problem to start. You don't need to launch the 100-hour, the 1,000-hour e-learning program. Just launch a program that's 1 to 2 hours long. So that's number 3 here. So you want to create the behavioral shift, cultural shift. You need them to say yes continuously. Let's focus on getting them to say yes continuously for one challenge to start. And what do? We start with the biggest challenge. So whatever the biggest challenge your employees are having, build an hour of content around it. So biggest challenge. And really, by keeping these 3 things in mind, you will successfully distribute your internal training program, focusing on creating a behavioral shift, making sure that they're saying yes continuously. They don't need to say yes for everything. That's why you don't need to build the entire program that solves all the problems in the world for your employees and then launch it. No, solve one problem. Solve the biggest challenge. Just solve it. equals solution. So you have the solution to their biggest challenge in your e-learning program, then they're gonna have to go and log into your e-learning program to get their answers. Now, remember the behavioral shift of this though, is if your employees are used to going to their supervisors for these answers, they go to their supervisor like, hey, I'm having this challenge, can you help me out? They're gonna continue to do that. What you need to do is train your supervisors to point them to the e-learning program. So you're not necessarily going to the employees and saying, hey, you need to make sure when you have questions about this, you need to log into the e-learning program. No, you have to train these supervisors and tell the supervisors, hey, so when the employees come to you and they ask you for this solution, you need to point them to the e-learning program. And you're gonna have to do it continuously. So it takes work. Your teams are gonna continuously have to push them there. Then you're gonna create the behavioral change. Then you're gonna get your employees to say yes continuously to engaging with your program. And really, how do you do this? Provide solutions for their biggest challenges. Start with the biggest one and then keep knocking off challenges and slowly build out remarkable content on that learner-centric technology instead of trying to build it all at once and then launching it. It really is that simple. And if you want to dig deeper into exactly who your learners are and what they care about and what their biggest challenges are, we have a free masterclass, which sole purpose is to help you guarantee the success of your e-learning program every time. And the focus, we go through this in a actionable exercise that you will use. You will use it immediately to define what the biggest challenges of your learners are so that you know exactly where to start with your internal e-learning program. So there's a link below this video in the description. Sign up there. Remember, give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel. We put out new content every single week about e-learning. Our goal is to simplify e-learning for you so that you don't have all this stuff to unravel. You just have the simple e-learning truth. We'll see you in the next video. Designing the perfect e-learning program, online course, or virtual training curriculum can be very difficult if you make it difficult. A lot of people ask us, well, what should my e-learning program even focus on? What are the e-learning or learning objectives of my program? What should they be? Well, today in this video, we are going to tell you exactly how to write a learning objective and to make sure that your learners are so excited about what your learning objectives are, they'll buy your course or opt into your internal training just because they know what the learning objectives are.